More than 150 million Americans are drinking water contaminated with toxic forever chemicals. And last year, after decades of inaction, the EPA set limits to protect public health.
But now that same agency is undoing those defenses. Spotlight on America's national correspondent Lisa Fletcher investigates why.
Every time we look at these chemicals, we discover that they are more toxic than we had previously thought.
Some protections designed to save lives from a dangerous class of chemicals in drinking water are being shut off.
This is something that the chemical industry has asked for. This is something that the water utilities have asked for.
But it's something Melanie Benish never wanted to see. She spent years protecting Americans from PFAS chemicals as part of her role at the Environmental Working Group. Linked to developmental issues in kids, cancer, and reproductive harm, these toxic forever chemicals contaminate the water supply from industrial releases, landfills, and firefighting foam.
There was a strong scientific basis for restricting these.
Last year, the EPA set strict limits on some of these chemicals, including the most prevalent PFOA and PFOS. EPA estimated the move would prevent 9,600 deaths and 30,000 illnesses. Now, 4 of those limits are being rescinded under the new EPA, among them PFHXS, which faced one of the strictest standards.
It's a dangerous chemical, and it's a pretty widespread chemical. We found it in a lot of drinking water sources.
We found it too. In 2022, we tested tap water from homes to the halls of Congress, even the EPA offices themselves. We found PFHXS in residential taps, disturbing to Linda Birnbaum, the former director of the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences.
There are growing amounts of animal and human data showing that PFHXS may be every bit as bad as, say, PFOS and PFOA, and it lasts in our bodies for a longer period of time.
PFHXS will now be unregulated in drinking water, along with another PFAS chemical, Gen X. It's infamous in North Carolina, where PFAS manufacturers dumped it into the Cape Fear River for years.
Did it ever occur to you that that water might be contaminated?
Never. Not in a million years.
Beth Marcassino believes Gen X is the reason her son died shortly after birth, failing to develop a kidney or bladder, problems that some studies have linked to PFAS exposure.
Here I am today. I should have never ever questioned that my water was the source that killed my son.
The EPA said it is rescinding rules for Gen X, PFHXS, and 2 other PFAS chemicals to ensure that the determinations follow the legal process laid out in the Safe Drinking Water Act. We asked the EPA why it didn't leave the rules in place to protect health while it examines the regulatory process. The EPA did not respond.
It is the Environmental Protection Agency. It is not the Chemical Industry Support Agency. It is not the Water Utility Accommodation Agency. It is the Environmental Protection Agency. And so at the forefront of everything that the EPA should do should be protection of the environment, protection of public health.
For Spotlight on America, I'm Lisa Fletcher.
Now, it's worth noting that the EPA is keeping limits on 2 major PFAS chemicals, but it's giving water utilities an extra 2 years to comply. The new administrator of the EPA, Lee Zeldin, was very outspoken about PFAS contamination when he was a U.S. representative and actually founded a congressional task force on the issue. Spotlight on America asked to speak with him, but his office declined. To see how the EPA responded to Spotlight on America's specific questions, you can go to spotlightinvestigates.com.